Hello. Give it a second. Give it a second. Give it a second, you motherfuckers. Let's see.
I've spoken to him on the phone, and I'm really anxious for all this to resolve.
Give it a second. Give it a second. I think we may be back in business.
Speaker Johnson, can you stop us earlier today?
Yes.
Can you walk us through, have you had a conversation yet with...
Wait, look at the way that she fucking, like, leapt off the table.
Speaker Johnson, can you stop us earlier today?
Yes.
Can you walk us through, have you had a conversation yet with Elon Musk?
That is the big question of the day. We exchanged text messages late yesterday, but haven't spoken to him on the phone, and I'm really anxious for all this to resolve so we can get on with getting the one big beautiful bill passed. That's what I'm focused on here. That's what the American people demand and expect of us. They gave us a man.
Control Shift Escape. I don't know what the fuck that did. I don't know what the fuck that does, but I did it.
Mandate in the election to get it done, so we can't get distracted by Twitter wars. We have to get our job done.
Have you talked to the president about how he's feeling about Musk and what he wants you to do in terms of, does he want to repair this relationship?
Look, I'm not going to speak for either of them. I was with the president in the Oval Office yesterday afternoon as some of this unfolded, and I can just say he was disappointed. I mean, he said that himself, and I was as well. But look, I believe in redemption. I hope we can resolve it and get everybody together again. That's really important for all of us.
Is this a big problem for getting the bill back through the Senate, back through the House?
This is not a problem for getting the bill done. The House and Senate Republicans here know that we have a job to do, and we're going to do our job. And we produced a very, very good product. It is not perfect because there's no such thing as perfect legislation, but we're really proud of this, and it's going to be jet fuel to the U.S. economy. It's going to make sure our border is secure. It's going to make sure we have investments in the military at the same time that we are cutting regulations, making things easier for a pro-growth economy, for job creators, and it's going to make all boats rise. This is geared for middle and lower income Americans. They're going to feel the effects of that almost immediately, and we're excited to get that done.
And who are you fucking lying to?
Historic tax cuts and historic savings at the same time. I mean, we're really proud of this product. It took us over a year to develop it, and we're going to get it over the finish line before July 4th.
Have you heard any conservatives? Thank you.
Dude, I don't understand why I lose frames. It doesn't make any sense to me. I've done everything. I got the fucking Ethernet going. I got damn good Wi-Fi. I fucking moved everything. Cleaned out my CPU. I don't understand. Don't make sense to me. Because you're a liberal? That's why? Hell yeah, Coops. Hell yeah. Update, maybe? Maybe. I don't fucking know. I ain't even on a PC, bro. I'm on a laptop. I really fucking should get a PC. Opening up this, let's see. Honestly, dude, I don't even know what the fuck that task manager is. I pulled it up. Yeah, I got that mic. I got the fucking mic. Yeah, I could probably get that new computer, but what would I even get? I mean, I feel like I ain't losing no fucking frames now. Now that I just threatened this computer's fucking existence. Now that I just started Googling on this computer what to replace this fucking thing with. Now it's starting to fucking behave. Little piece of shit. You fuck. Let's see. Let's keep the hand moving and go to YouTube. What the fuck? What the fuck, man?
The president's biggest campaign donor, who was so close that Trump invited him to sleep at the White House, is now...
Let it buffer for a second. Is Chrome really just like a CPU consumer? Should I be using something other than Chrome?
The president's biggest campaign donor, who was so close that Trump invited him to sleep at the White House, is now calling for him to be impeached and replaced by Vice President J.D. Vance. The man who was handed nearly unfettered access to the federal government is openly musing about forming his own political party. And the same guy, the billionaire backing the U.S. space program, he's now threatening to take his rockets and go home. What at this time yesterday was a one-sided attack on the president's signature spending bill is no longer just a policy disagreement, not even close. It has now become quite personal, as the president says he thinks
you get an actual
why.
PC. If you get an actual PC, you could swap out components if you find that you need better performance. All right, hold on. I got to take a piss.
Look, you know, I've always liked Elon, and I was very surprised. You saw the words he had for me, the words of, and he hasn't said anything about me that's bad. I'd rather have him criticize me than the bill, because the bill is incredible. It's the biggest cut in the history of our country. We've never cut. It's about 1.6 trillion in cuts. Elon's upset because we took the EV mandate, and which was a lot of money for electric vehicles, and they're having a hard time, the electric vehicles, and they want us to pay billions of dollars in subsidy. And Elon knew this from the beginning.
As Trump was speaking from the Oval Office, Elon Musk responded in real time, writing this, quote, "False. This bill was never shown to me even once and was passed in the dead of the night so fast that almost no one in Congress could even read it." And quote, "Whatever, keep the EV solar incentive cuts in the bill, even though no oil and gas subsidies are touched, very unfair, but ditch the mountain of disgusting pork in the bill." And with the German chancellor sitting by his side today, with the president there in the Oval, he said what he had been bottling up really for days now.
You saw a man who was very happy when he stood behind the Oval desk, and even with the black eye, I said, "Do you want a little makeup? We'll get you a little makeup." But he said, "No, I don't think so," which is interesting. He's worn the hat. Trump was right about everything, and I am right about the great, big, beautiful bill. We call it a great, big, beautiful bill because that's what it is. I don't know what it is. It's sort of Trump derangement syndrome, I guess they call it. But we have it with others, too. They leave, and they wake up in the morning, and the glamour's gone. The whole world is different, and they become hostile. I don't know what it is. Someday you'll write a book about it, and you'll let us know.
So Trump is actually going to go with, like, it's a magical thing? Did you wash your hands, Valenti? Fuck no, bro. I'm a man. I'm an alpha.
Not to be outdone, Musk posted in response to that, quote, "Without me, Trump would have lost the election. Dems would control the House, and Republicans in the Senate would be 51 to 49. Such ingratitude," he added. As the White House was scrambling to react to all of this as it was playing out in real time today, with aides now forced to attack the person they have been defending for months in front of the cameras. Look at this. You can still see the imprint of Musk on the White House, that red Tesla.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez.
The president bought from him. Our Jay McMichael shot this.
Yo, Nelson, how much for you to build me a fucking PC? How much for you to build me a PC?
Still sitting right outside the West Wing, parked on West Exec.
He's a great patriot, and he's also done an incredible job with Tesla. And I mean, nobody else has a car company started up in the last 30 years that's been successful. I don't think so. I love Tesla.
It's not clear if he still feels the same way tonight. Today, the president declared that Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody else wanted, that he knew for months I was going to do, and he just went crazy. Then came the threat that could really hurt. The president said the easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts.
W Trump here, based. W Trump, based. Can we get some W Trump based in the chat? Can we get some W Trump based? Because like that's a dub. That is indisputably a dub. We should do that. We should do that. That's a dub. Yeah, bro. Fucking broken clock is right twice a day. You know? Listen, you got to give credit where credit is due. This is not a bad idea. Terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts. Like, this is based as fuck. He's not going to do it. But he should, right?
That Biden didn't do it. Tesla's stock price took a massive hit after that. $150 billion in market value gone as the two were trading attacks today. According to Bloomberg, Elon Musk lost $34 billion today. That financial hit, though, does not seem to be enough for his critics in MAGA world.
This guy is all over the map. He's right. But he's emblematic of these oligarchs. All of them have the maturity of a 9-year-old, and they're dangerous. They're dangerous not just to the President of the United States. More importantly, they're dangerous to this republic and the citizens of this constitutional republic.
At one point, the president seemed to maybe be trying to cool things off. He said, quote, "I don't mind Elon turning against me, but he should have done this months ago." And I'm told that allies of both the president and Musk were kind of caught in the middle of all of this today. They were quietly and delicately trying to broker peace between the two men behind the scenes. But those efforts were upended when Elon Musk wrote this. This was really kind of the end of that. He said, "Time to drop the really big bomb. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not made public. Have a nice day, DJT." Now, I should note tonight, there's no evidence when it comes to what this looks like in terms of the Epstein files beyond that. The White House says his bomb is an unfortunate episode. And several.
Yo, here's the thing about this. I 100% believe that Trump is in the Epstein files, right? But I also don't believe that Elon Musk is privy to the files, right? You following me? I believe Trump is on the files, but I don't believe Elon actually has seen the files. So this may end up being the largest libel case in American history. If Elon cannot provide proof that Trump is on the Epstein list, he's gonna be sued for like at least $50 billion, at least something like that.
Several people familiar with what was happening behind the scenes described the Epstein tweet to me as the tipping point, though, in this relationship, now fearing that there is no going back. We have a full house of deeply sourced insiders to start us off on what is a remarkable day at the White House. CNN's Donny O'Sullivan and Brian Stelter, and also Politico's Dasha Burns and the Associated Press's Sungmin Kim. Dasha, I mean, I just want to know what you're hearing from people at the White House tonight, because what we were hearing is, yes, this was a breakup that was predictable, but even people inside the...
You think a man on ketamine is sane and in the right mind? Good one. Elon's lying. What'd you think about Elon when he was the head of Doge? What'd you think about Elon when he was the head of Doge?
The White House did not see it going down like this and as fast as it happened today. I mean, the group chats inside the White House were just on fire today. People comparing it to a divorce, saying, yeah, we thought it was going to happen, but maybe not until the fall or in a few months. What have you been hearing from people tonight?
Yeah, my phone's been just absolutely blowing up. People inside the White House, people on the Hill. I mean, the divorce analogies are rampant right now. Look, it was the ferocity, how quickly this happened, and once he started going down the rabbit hole of the Epstein files, that's when the conversation with White House allies and people inside of the White House really changed. As I was communicating with folks all day, they were saying this is now going into crazy town. People were telling me that the president is concerned about Elon Musk's well-being, that you saw the reporting as we all did from the Times around the drug use. They didn't expect it to go quite in this direction. And at this point, earlier on, people were saying, look, fight.
The fucking ketamine crusader is going to take down this nation. He's going to do it. And I'm all for it. I'm all fucking for it, bro. It's the ketamine crusader versus Mango Mussolini, and I'm down to just watch the fucking world burn.
These are two titans. They're clashing, but they'll come back together. Now it seems like the hope for any sort of reconciliation is gone, and the goal is just to try to turn the temperature down here.
I mean, Sungmin, that's really the question here, is how you turn the temperature down when you have got these two major personalities, two alphas who are trying to essentially out.
Ew, chat, boo this woman. Boo this fucking woman. Two alphas on the news? On the news? On the news? Oh, God almighty, what the fuck are we doing? Two alphas. Oh my God, what the fuck?
Outdo one another in terms of inflicting harm now that this relationship we're watching it totally implode.
Yeah, I mean, Elon Musk and Donald Trump hit each other where it hurts the most. They hit each other's egos. And for Elon Musk, Donald Trump really hit at his wallet. So it's really difficult to see what the two sides can do to at least
Bro,
even.
there was some fucking unbelievably cringy gay ass tweet where this guy was like, well, this is phallocentric. I know you liberals aren't used to phallocentric combat. You're used to gynocentric, in reference to the way that Trump and Elon are talking to each other. I gotta find it. Trump versus Elon, phallocentric. I bet you some crazy shit's about to pop up. Where is it? Here it is. I don't know who the fuck Jack Poso is, but this guy has got to be a closeted homosexual. Oh, it's my mother calling me. Let me say hi to her. All good. She was just saying hi. But this guy, Jack Poso, yo, Jack Poso, if you're seeing this, bro, you can just come out of the closet, bro. You don't need to fucking stay in the closet your whole life, dog. Some of y'all can't handle two high Asian-sing males going at it. And it really shows. This is direct communication, phallocentric, versus indirect communication, gynocentric. I understand you aren't used to it. Are we fucking dead ass? Are we fucking dead ass? I'm gay. Yeah, you, what the fuck? Why would I be what? Oh, Jesus.
Turn the temperature down a little. But this fight could have really serious actual consequences for President Trump's agenda. I was really fascinated by some of the early comments we were getting from Republican lawmakers on Capitol Hill about the impact on that so-called one big beautiful bill. I mean, there's Ryan Zinke, Republican from Montana. He was Interior Secretary for President Trump in his first term, and he said that.
By the way, guys, we're about 23 minutes in. Quick reminder, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you want to support the channel financially, please do, because I have no funding. So you can help support the channel by becoming a patron on Patreon, becoming a member on YouTube. You could donate through the super chat function. You can buy some merch down below, and you can use the 40% off discount for the Vantage subscription on Ground News, which is located in the description down below.
You have the richest man in the world and you have the most powerful man in the world going up against each other. It really can put the bill in serious jeopardy. And while I'm a little bit skeptical about I'm just a little skeptical at this point about how much power Elon Musk will have at this point. I think a lot of his power within the Republican Party comes from his proximity to Donald Trump, but it certainly doesn't help when the fate of the bill is already very much teetering on the edge.
Yeah, and Donnie, when it started out just, this policy fight on what was happening on Capitol Hill. Obviously, anyone who crosses Trump should expect to face his wrath. It was actually surprising how long he took to respond to Elon Musk. But on the Epstein files, I think to properly convey to people who may not be on Twitter as much as you and I are, it is the lowest of the low insults to say to someone in right-wing media or the right-wing atmosphere, oh, you're in the Epstein files.
Yes, that really is, that is the kryptonite here. And maybe why Trump finally responded, right? I mean, when it comes to the Epstein files, Epstein lists, whatever folks want to call it, it doesn't actually matter what it is in reality. I mean, there have been names that have been associated with Jeffrey Epstein that have been released through court. Trump's name.
The funniest part about this whole thing is that we're all pretending that, like, if MAGA found out that Trump was on the Epstein list, that would turn him against it. Like, bro, Trump being on the Epstein list would mean Trump fucks kids. That's bonus points when it comes to MAGA. They'll literally look at that as bonus points, bro. Be so fucking for real.
Came out in documents last year, but there was absolutely no accusation of wrongdoing on Trump's part whatsoever. But his name was as somebody who knew Epstein. What is most important, though, is what people in the MAGAverse imagine what this list is to be, right? And this, they imagine, is a list of all the bad people who went to Epstein's Island and who, abused young women and did other criminal things. And what people also believe is that that list is made up of Trump's enemies normally, right? We see there's been many versions of this list that have circulated online.
They did this to themselves because it was the Trump orbit that amplified the conspiracy theories about Jeffrey Epstein's list and who was on it and what it meant about those people. And so for Elon Musk to say that is why that kind of takes this to this other level.
Listen, kryptonite is a perfect word for this. The whole Epstein story, it all ties back to Donald Trump. And they built up an entire base of MAGA sycophants who were so obsessed with Jeffrey Epstein, and they truly thought it was only going to be Democrats on that list. But, like, bro, it ain't. It ain't.
It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that there was wrongdoing. We don't know that.
No.
But there's already pictures of Trump and Jeffrey Epstein together. We knew he was a member at Mar-a-Lago and then was removed from the club. But it was kind of the right turning on the right here.
I don't give a fuck. I could have 30 viewers and I'd still be happy. I don't do this for the viewers. I do this because I'm trying to fix this goddamn nation in any way that I can, and this is the best way that I could come up with.
100%. And there is going to be a situation now where people have to choose sides, right? GOP lawmakers are already asking themselves, am I choosing Trump or Musk? I'm sure most of them will choose Trump.
What the f***, bro? Is this dead ass the Guardia? See? I'm probably going to get copyright striked for this shit, bro. You guys think I'm going to get a copyright strike for this shit? I mean, The Guardian's a fucking newspaper. The Guardian's a motherfucking newspaper, bro. I should be able to watch this, right? As long as I give it some genuine common tussie. Rifle pointed at you and your kid, and you go, well, hang on a second. Whoa, wait a minute there, Jack. Hold on a second. Whoa. I think things have gotten a little bit out of hand. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Can talk about
from New York. I could smell it on her, bro. This bitch is from Long Island, I think. Yo, this bitch is from Long Island. What happened to the Madeleine? I don't think the Madeleine got blown up. Not yet.
Here for 23 years.
I gotta piss again. I'll be right back. Beans. I was gonna fill up my water. That mean knocking down the fucking mosque? Doesn't that mean knocking down the mosque?
Why is that important to you?
After the destruction of the Second Temple.
What is your opinion on the Mexican belief? What the fuck does that mean? The Mexican belief. What the fuck is a... What? What do we set... Chat. What the fuck is going on? The holiest site in the entire religion of Islam, bro. This is like if, what if they said that about the Vatican? What if they said that about the Vatican, bro? Suddenly, fucking everybody like Koofs would be up in arms, you know? Suddenly, all these fucking Republicans would be up in arms if she was like, hey... He said, well, it's the Vatican. Brother, this is the equivalent of the Vatican for the Muslims. Koofs. This is the Muslim Vatican. The Al-Aqsa Mosque. Brother, have you not heard of the pilgrimage to Mecca? The Hajj? It's the whole fucking thing they do. They travel across the world to go visit that fucking place. They travel from all over the planet to go visit it. The fuck?
My daily music. Instead of hearing that.
Don't study only religion. Don't study other religions, only Christianity. Koofs, hear me out. Just try to be civil for a second. You understand that the Vatican is the creme de la creme for Catholics. The Al-Aqsa Mosque is the same thing, but for the Muslims. She is saying we got to tear down the Muslim equivalent of the Vatican to put up the Jewish equivalent of the Vatican. That's what she's saying, bro. That's what she's saying.
To give away.
Don't see the part where that's my problem? It's not your problem. That's the thing. It's not your problem. I still advocate for, you know, free Palestine. And listen, I'm not religious at all. I don't give a fuck about the Vatican. I don't give a fuck about the Al-Aqsa. Listen, I think religion is a bad thing. And this is the fucking proof in the goddamn pudding. This fucking woman is like, yeah, we gotta tear down that fucking place. The Muslims are like, nah, we gotta fucking keep that place. The goddamn Christians are like, we gotta plant the fucking flag in Jerusalem. Like, I listen, I just think this shit is fucking stupid. So, does this woman think the Arab world is united? Who is this lady? This lady is the owner of the, like, the cemetery that overlooks the Al-Aqsa Mosque, where the Messiah is supposed to come and land before he, like, when the Messiah rises up the dead, he starts in that fucking cemetery, and she's the owner of the land or some shit. Well, Islam is false, so, dude, all religions are fucking false, bro. Listen, guys, let me explain one thing to you. If anybody ever tells you that they know for a fact what God is or what the afterlife is, they're lying both to you and to themselves. Religion is a guide. It's a guide. It's supposed to help you try and figure out the unexplainable. But nobody in their right mind would ever say that they have concrete evidence or that they know for a fact that their religion is correct. If somebody says that, it is a sign of mental illness, because faith, the entire definition of faith is believing in something despite the lack of evidence. That's the whole thing. Like, believing in Jesus would not be impressive if you had proof that he rose from the dead. Then we'd all be praising him. We'd be like, well, yeah, there's proof. That's the whole thing about faith, is you got to believe in it without being able to prove it. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. Koofs, this guy's talking about people like you, bro. He's in his nation that his father was born in and his grandfather was born in, and this is the mosque that they've all prayed in, and you guys just talk about knocking it down with such ease. It's like, Koofs, I know I bully you a lot, but bro, you're cruel. You're cruel. Never said I wanted to knock it down. Yes, you did multiple times. Yes, you did. You said you wouldn't give a fuck. You said, so, who cares? You said, not my problem. Bro, you are absolutely fine with this thing being fucking knocked down. You are lying. Why are you lying, Koofs?
In the next episode, I'll travel north along the Green Line.
Make sure you guys watch the rest of this. We're not going to watch every single episode, but this is insane. This is so sad. Changed my mind. Yeah, too late. There's already 200,000 dead.
It's very clear which side of the line Harvard is on.
It's easily one of America's most anti-Semitic, hateful universities.
Look at that short motherfucker. Look at him.
It's very clear which side of the line Harvard is on.
It's easily one of
This guy's got to be 5 foot nothing.
America's most anti-Semitic, hateful universities.
I learned China, so, you know.
I come from China.
The mood is not the greatest among the international students. I'm glad I'm leaving, but
I just love Channel 5, so.
What's up, guys? We're live in Cambridge, Mass. at Harvard University.
A lot of people who are pissed off for a different variety of reasons. As y'all know,
we're at Ground Zero, in the place that Donald Trump calls the #1 hotbed for terrorism. They're grooming anti-Semitic Hamas sympathizers in this very soil. Allegedly.
They're very anti-Semitic. Everybody knows they're anti-Semitic.
Anybody here on a student visa should adhere to the laws of the land. If you're here on a student visa, engaged in not merely bad, mean words, but violence, it's time to go back to mom and dad in Syria. It's a shameful institution. Taxpayers shouldn't have to subsidize it.
Harvard has been at the center of a
5'3", 280? Nah, bro, I'm 4'9", 460.
and political debate as Donald Trump has threatened.
Oh wait, I think that one really hurt you. I think me calling that guy short hurt Koofs' feelings. Koofs, how short are you? Was that like did that hit you where it hurt? How short are you, Koofs? $5'11". All right, deduct 3 inches, and that's reality. So he's what? 5'8", 5'7", probably.
Freeze all international students from enrolling in Harvard in the future as a sort of FU to the campus leadership for allowing anti-Semitic hate speech on campus, and also having so much frickin' DEI and making it hard for Caucasian geniuses and white South Africans to get into Harvard.
We have Americans that want to go there and to other places, and they can't go there because you have 31% foreign.
Trump is kind of doubling down on Harvard.
We spend more money on higher education than any other
cares
country.
about height. Short king spotted. Short king spotted. We get a short king.
Turning our students into communists.
He wants Harvard to cap the number of international students at 15%.
I believe in the rule of law, and I believe it is not being respected by the current administration.
It's just a shame what they're doing, trying to control academics in this manner.
You can't deny international students access to education here in America, especially a private university.
If you're currently about to renew your visa, you're kind of screwed.
I wanted to come out and thank Harvard for their courage standing up to Trump. Trump announced, I guess it was like last week or the week before, Harvard can no longer have international students. The current international students on Harvard campus would all have to go home. Harvard said no. They got in front of a judge really fast. The judge basically said, no, you can't do that. You know, he wants to tell Harvard who they can and can't hire and who they can admit, and now he wants to tell them they can't have international students. And Harvard's like, no, and I
gotta piss again, dude. The amount of fucking water I've drank today is insane. I need more water and another fucking piss. I'll leave you with it.
Courage.
There's also some protests happening on the outskirts and some Hare Krishna pamphlet advertising. We got a box truck rolling around with the faces of supposedly anti-Semitic students on it. Unfortunately, as you guys can see, the HarvardHatesJews.com domain has been taken. Pro-Palestine, Save the Children, Fuck Trump protests happening at the bus stop over there. So we're going to talk to a couple people of all creeds and colors and figure out what the heck's going on at Harvard.
Yeah, so I'm Clive Lawrence. I'm a sophomore at Harvard College studying government, and I'm also a student organizer for various initiatives on campus.
And what's going on right now?
What's going on right now is basically over the past semester, Donald Trump has begun targeting higher education institutions, especially Harvard, revoked Harvard's ability to enroll international students, which is a huge blow to the Harvard community.
Harvard currently has around 27% international students, and as a result, he's saying that, you know, we should send people back. They should not be studying here.
It's a big chunk through the school. I have friends who are from South Africa. I have friends from Peru. And I think like it just kind of shows there is this wide breadth of like students from many different regions. It's been trending that way, I think, in the past few decades.
The numbers were increasing dramatically. International students are very important to the finances of Harvard. But he's not just talking about new people coming in next year. He's talking about present students, that they have to leave, that they have to go to another college.
What's the climate among international students?
We mostly try not to talk about it, even amongst ourselves, because it's just too distressing.
And more generally, he's also pursuing research cuts and things of that nature.
I mean, I'm definitely like, yeah, they should all be having their money seized for a lot of the shit they've done. But also there's so much research and money that goes into like medical research and those kinds of things that I feel like do need to.
Well, we want to turn now to the latest fallout from what you could call one big, not so beautiful breakup between President Trump and Elon Musk after Mr. Musk criticized the price tag of the president's agenda in Congress, leading to an explosive and very public feud that quickly devolved into a brawl over power and influence and threats of government and political retaliation.
Somebody send me $100.
Despite some rumblings, the two would get on the phone to patch things up today. White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles tells me there are no plans for that today. And a senior White House official tells me, my colleague Jonathan Allen, that the president is not interested in a call with Mr. Musk. The situation escalated in the Oval Office yesterday, where President Trump responded to Mr. Musk's criticism of his bill in Congress, accusing the world's richest man of being blinded by his bottom line.
One thing I can attest to is that Jack Wolf is freakishly tall. That's something that I can attest to. Jack is freakishly tall.
Their relationship may, in fact, be over.
Elon's upset because we took the EV mandate, and which was a lot of money for electric vehicles, and they're having a hard time, the electric vehicles. Look, Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if we're well anymore. We believe my administration, and they love us, and then at some point they miss it so badly, and some of them embrace it and some of them actually become hostile. I don't know what it is. It's sort of Trump derangement syndrome, I guess they call it. Said the most beautiful things about it.
What the fuck are you talking about? Fuck is you talking about?
Based on confirmed reports from June 3rd and 4th, 2025, Ukraine's security service SBU carried out a covert underwater bombing of the Kerch Bridge. The operation likely used a combination of underwater.
Say fuck MAGA? Did Koofs just say F MAGA? No shot.
Drones, possibly models like the Marichka, carrying large amounts of explosives to support Ukrainian combat divers in placing the charges. To prepare for the mission, Ukrainian forces used satellite imagery and underwater sonar mapping. It's also likely that small drones or covert dive teams were sent in earlier to gather detailed data on the bridge's underwater structure. This is how the bombs could have been planted. Under the cover of night, the divers made their approach using closed-circuit rebreathers, which allowed them to move silently, with minimal acoustic or visual detection.
Wait, what did he just say? Rebreathers?
Made their approach using closed-circuit rebreathers, which allow.
Okay, no, this is an AI. No AI were used. Look at this, look at this. No AI were used in the making of this video.
Planted. Under the cover of night, the divers made their approach using closed-circuit rebreathers.
They're called rebreathers because you breathe in them.
Which allowed them to move silently.
Wait. This is called AI Telly? Wait a minute. This is called AI Telly. Is this whole fucking thing an AI?
Bracing for retaliation.
I ain't watching no fucking AI.
days, Ukraine was pummeled in an overnight Russian attack. Kyiv reports Moscow launched one of its largest drone and missile strikes, killing at least 4 people and injuring nearly 24 in the Ukrainian capital. President Volodymyr Zelensky said that Russia used more than 400 drones and 40 missiles in the barrage, adding, quote, almost all of Ukraine was in the crosshairs. Meantime, Russian officials say that a Ukrainian drone attack hit an industrial site in the country's south. Our Fred Bleitgen is in Berlin for us with the very latest. So, listen, we all knew that Russia was going to retaliate sooner or later. Did we expect the retaliation to come this quickly?
That's fucked. Elon is tweeting again. A second tweet has hit the tower. No shot. The America Party? Bro, we already got that. It's called the OAL, you dumb fuck. This one's actually funny. Yo, so just so you understand, this right here, he's not fucking around. This is how he begins his, like, tech feudalist arc. Alphas lock horns sometimes. They'll make up. Oh my god. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Oh god. That's so fucking funny. Has Trump tweeted anything? No. What about on Truth? Want a break from the ads? Sick. All right. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. He's bringing it up. Coops goes, that's true though. Elon and Trump are both alphas, so when two alphas are in a room together, it gets heated and like a gladiator fight. You wouldn't get it, Chris. Coops, I gotta see a picture of you, bro. I've gotta see it. Please tell me you have an Instagram or something. You gotta let me see what you look like, dog. You gotta give me something. I have to be able to visualize it. I have to. I was hired to lead Jeffrey Epstein's defense as his criminal lawyer 9 days before he died. He sought my advice for months before that. I can say authoritatively, unequivocally, and definitively that he had no information to hurt President Trump. I specifically asked him, then show me the file. Then show me the file. It's time to put President Trump on Mount Rushmore. Oh my god, dude, these people are so fucking gay for Trump. What do you say? I was saved by God to make America great again. God bless President Trump. Saved by the grace of God to restore the republic to greatness. Bro, these people wish they lived in fucking Rome. Oh my God. Oh my God. So, is there... I want to see the replies.
The only thing that I can say about President Trump is that he is the only person who, in 2009, when I served a lot of subpoenas on a lot of people, or at least gave notice to some pretty connected people that I wanted to talk to them, he is the only person who picked up the phone and said, let's just talk. I'll give you as much time as you want. I'll tell you what you need to know, and was very helpful in the information that he gave, and gave no indication whatsoever that he was involved in anything untoward whatsoever, but had good information that checked out and that helped us, and that we didn't have to take a deposition of him.
That was in 2009?
That was in 2009. So,
do you know if there's any truth to James Patterson's claims that Trump kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago?
I've definitely heard that. I definitely heard that. I don't know that it was Trump himself as opposed to a manager there.
But it's Trump's club, so
yeah,
people credit him.
I've heard the rumor that Epstein was kicked out of there for allegedly trying to pick up somebody's daughter or something like that. But
President Trump did nothing wrong. End the witch hunt. Oh my God. Who says I have an Instagram but it's private, bro? I don't want y'all to rate it. Dude, I just want to see what you look like. Oh my God. I don't think he tweeted this. This is fake. This is completely fake. Did Trump take this picture? Oh my God, I think he did. Oh my God, I think he fucking did. Brother, Trump is single-handedly keeping the newspaper industry alive. If you see me, you will be quiet real quick. Oh my God, Goofy. Goofy. Little goofy boy. Yeah, I don't know anybody who still reads a fucking newspaper. Wonder what Adam has posted. Adam's probably talked about this a little bit. Anything on it? Look at that.
Nuclear weapon on Kyiv, that would get a huge outcry. And it's just the kind of thing also, it would not have any military effect. It would have a disastrous, I think, international impact. And certain countries like the Chinese, who have told them very clearly, do not use nuclear weapons, would be furious. What the Chinese don't want are all the other countries around them to develop nuclear weapons. And if the Russians use a nuke, they're basically saying, hey, we can use nukes to expand. And therefore, if you're Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, do you say, well, okay, I need my own nuclear weapons to defend myself? So it's hard to see what effect, positive effect, Putin would get from a nuclear weapon. Plus, he doesn't want to die, and Putin wants to live as long. But if they drop a tactical nuclear weapon on Kyiv, that would get a huge outcry.
Yeah, I don't believe the Russians would use a nuke. This is a shame, this back and forth. You are both better than this. Cool off and take... Is good advice. Okay, we won't decommission Dragon. Man with 131 followers saves space flight by calming Elon Musk. This man is a national security risk. This man is a national security risk. If he's capable of being swayed just like that... This man is a national... The amount of secrets that this man had... Are you fucking serious? This guy's a national security threat.
Attorney General Pam Bondi announcing that Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the Maryland man who had been deported to El Salvador, who the Supreme Court had said that the U.S. government had to facilitate bringing back, is now coming home because he is facing indictments, allegations, charges that for 9 years he was a part
OAL is the only Americans left.
Of a smuggling ring, which included bringing not only adults but children, human trafficking for the past 9 years. You also heard the Attorney General allege that Abrego Garcia engaged in other activity that was criminal in nature, but so far, as of right now, he faces charges for smuggling adults, children, throughout this country from other countries. Back with me now is NBC News Justice and Intelligence correspondent Ken Delanian, and joining us also is former U.S. Attorney Carol Lamb. Ken, let me start with you. Your reaction to what we just heard from the Attorney General.
Well, Kristen, I think you made a very important distinction there, and you broke it down well. This is a very detailed indictment that does allege very serious charges, and it alleges, for example, he made more than 100 trips to smuggle undocumented immigrants. But it also makes allegations that aren't charged. So he's charged with 2 counts of violating the laws regarding smuggling undocumented immigrants. But the indictment repeats allegations from what they call co-conspirators that are very serious but have not resulted in criminal charges. That's curious to me. You don't usually see that in these kinds of indictments. So, for example, you heard the Attorney General say one co-conspirator alleged that he may have been involved in a murder, and another said that he was abusing some of the female detainees that he was transporting. Again, he's not charged with that conduct, so it's very important to state that. At the same time, this indictment clearly changes the picture that a lot of people had of this man, who was portrayed by his lawyer and his wife.
I think at this point, Coos is just trolling, by the way. Nobody is that stupid.
As an innocent contractor in Maryland, the federal government here, after what appears to be a pretty substantial criminal investigation, talking to a lot of different people, gathering up cell phone records and other evidence, is making some very serious allegations, accusing him of serious crimes. And it also solves a problem for the Trump administration, Kristen, because they're bringing him back when judges have ordered them to do that, and there's been some question about whether they were violating that court order. As Todd Blanche, the Deputy Attorney General, said there, that may all be moot now because he's coming back to face these charges. And Pam Bondi said that if he was convicted, he would serve his sentence here and then be deported to El Salvador. She didn't say what would happen if he was acquitted of these charges, but presumably the Trump administration would try to deport him in that event. Kristen.
Let me just remind our viewers, Carol Lim, I'm going to go to you next, a little bit of the history of Kilmar Abrego Garcia before he was deported. He came to the United States, crossed the border illegally in 2012, makes his way to Maryland. In 2019, he was assessed to be a member of MS-13 by Prince George's County Police Gang Unit. He then requested a withholding from removal, and he was actually approved for that in 2019, April of 2019. A judge granted that. In March of 2025, he was arrested by ICE and detained in Baltimore and Louisiana. And in 2025, March 17th, Senator Chris Van Hollen actually went to go visit him to be able to obtain proof of life effectively in the wake of what became a national outcry after it was determined that he was deported. An administration official telling a judge that he was deported by mistake, and that was really at the crux of what these court cases were. But Carol Lam, this is a lot of new information.
Yeah, so this guy is going to get charged and he's going to get deported again. That's probably what's going to happen. I mean, it's a fucking kangaroo court regardless, but this is all just a way to shut up the left. Be like, see, we brought him home. We gave him due process. Now stop bitching. That's the entire point.
Information and the question, the fact that the administration didn't have or at least make this information public at the time that they deported him, what do you make of that? And what do you make of what we just heard from the Attorney General?
Right. Well, Kirsten, looking at the date that the Attorney General said the indictment was actually returned on a sealed basis, meaning that the public didn't have access to it, I think she said May 21st. So the indictment is only about a week old. And looking at the indictment, this is what I discerned from it. He is charged only with alien smuggling. This is a very common charge along the southwest border, and I was the U.S. attorney here in San Diego, so the southwest border. This charge is used very commonly, and it can mean anything from a person in the car who's not illegal, who's crossing the border, to the kind of alien smuggling that you often think of with people being hidden in the trunk or something like that. But in this case, he is the only defendant in this indictment, and this is what we would call a historical investigation. So in other words, these are acts that appear to have happened way in the past, and you'll see that there are co-conspirators who apparently gave the government information, but they are not charged in the indictment. So he is the only defendant.
Oh, damn, bro. The Trump regime went so hard trying to get this guy charged that they probably forgave everybody else who was involved in the conspiracy. That's crazy. That's crazy. All right, listen, guys, I'm going to end the stream. I'm going to get some dinner in me. Chill out. Enjoy the rest of my night. Thank you for tuning into both live streams. If you were here for both of them, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. That costs you nothing, and it helps me immensely. You like Guinness Maximus? Good for you. I'm out of here, folks. I'm out of here. Have a good one, everybody. Have a good one. Have a good one. Have a good one. Stay gay, folks. Stay gay. Happy